event at the White House. Great nations don't ignore the most painful moments, Biden told the East Room crowd, which includes which included dozens of politicians, activists, and community leaders. They embraced them. Now, here's the thing. Now, just to piggyback on what I've said so far before you screw to cut us off, why is it that black people always allowing these folks to rob us of resources? What is some why do the older civil rights generation want symbolic gestures? Just why? Why do symbolic gestures matter for the old civil rights generation? This Ola May or whatever her name is. They're not wanting tangible benefits for their children. They want us to basically think that we're making progress with social integration. Oh, you understand? They thinking that we're making progress through social integration. How is we making progress with social integration? Somebody answer that question. How is we making progress through social integration? See, we got these immigrants in the Congressional Black Caucus trying to feed us a lie that we're making progress without no tangible benefits. And that's the reason why you got to bring the new voices of black media, because we are basically the people who are going to call this out. Like, share, and subscribe. Screw 2 have us on a shallow ban. They have cut off our screening, our streaming platform. We have been so controversial these last week or so. In the new voices of black media, we've been just on Jim Crow Joe Biden's ass. He basically tried to give us some symbolic gestures by signing this bill into law. And before I went off, remember I was telling y'all about when I live in Oklahoma, we celebrated Juneteenth all the time. You know, when we first heard about Juneteenth, that's all we did is we went to carnivals and went to festivals. They had one at the Ralph Ellison Library, as I mentioned. So we've always celebrated this. You see what I'm saying? And so the celebration and claiming that Lincoln freed the slaves, that was bullshit. You see, Juneteenth was about those slaves who was already free, who said, I don't give a damn what white folks say. I'm free. You know, they basically said, no, we have to fight for ourselves. And so they were emancipated, but they were already emancipated. That's just like we've also signed this. I mean, we've always been celebrating Juneteenth. We didn't need Joe Biden to give us a federal holiday. We were already celebrating it. Just like when he passed the civil rights laws, we were already, basically, saying, okay, we're not fit to ride behind the bus with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I mean, we'll just go and start our own damn bus system. And then before you know it, the system changed because they can control black folks more if they could get us to think that we're integrated. And see, that's what the older black generation has fallen for. They've fallen for symbolic gestures. They're falling for, how Miss Ola Lee, remember she was up there with Jim Crow Joe Biden, and she was like, oh, Lord, I was the first one that he gave the pen to. You see, she didn't care nothing about the reparations that they owe us. She cared nothing about that. Like, share, subscribe. They got us on the shadow ban. They keep on monitoring our page. So, like I said, they've been telling everybody to go take these vaccines. And like I said, I said earlier, that doctor was basically telling people, to try to get your pastors, your employers, and all these people to take that vaccine, or just go take the COVID test. I said, no, I'm not doing that shit. Hell no. You know. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Now, but back to this issue here of Juneteenth celebration. Yeah, we've always celebrated Juneteenth, man. We've always celebrated that. Man, we used to, when Juneteenth came around when we were young, like when we were like 16, 17 years old, you know what I'm saying? We used to go up the street to, like I said, Ralph Ellison Library, and they had carnivals. We didn't need a white holiday to go celebrate that because every time that came around, black people knew about it. Black people knew that in June, oh man, okay, Juneteenth is coming around. Okay, man, it's going to be a lot of people there at the carnival festival. I'm fit to go. Okay, I had set up on like the when I was even 19. I think it was 19 when I was, yeah, it was 19, probably around 1920, 20 when I was 1920. I set up a booth at one of the Juneteenth celebrations. So we've always celebrated that holiday, even without Jim Crow Joe Biden making it a federal holiday. So when are we going to stop allowing these people just to hand us symbolic gestures? See, this older civil rights generation, they have fed their children to the wolves for so long that they cannot give us an example as to who we should follow. So it's up now to the grassroots people, the black people in the grassroots, to now bring a different type of agenda. And this Jim Crow Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they still haven't met with Ice Cube for our reparations talk. You understand? So Joe Biden basically, white people don't like to really listen to real, tangible evidence that they owe us. They like to undermine our facts, our truth. They like to undermine what we are owed because these people don't want us equal to them. We built the largest economy in the world, that has basically outshined everybody else in the society, and yet we are the less people to benefit from it. When you got illegal immigrants coming from countries in Mexico and other places where you don't know, and they get more tangible benefits and get all kinds of things for them, that's a sign that shows you that this is an illegitimate government who cannot stand its black people. See, black people have to start confronting this. And we have to stop thinking that white folks can use the word racism against us every time there's a black person speaking up against this. Because this is about race. At the end of the day, this is all about race. If it wasn't about race, then how do you explain white folks on top, black people on the bottom? You can't explain it no other way. And as our brother Nelly Fuller taught us, the white supremacy believes in controlling both sides of an argument. In other words, it doesn't matter what direction the argument goes, white supremacy is going to be there to say, and that's just the bottom line, because I'm white and I say so. So they had the Congressional Caucus there. They had Miss Ola Lee. She's like, oh, Lord, oh, he signed the pen. Oh, Lord. Oh, and old Jim Crow Joe Biden, he came in this seminary and he signed the pen and, oh, Lord. That's foolish. wish, man. That's an old woman who been waiting around for so long for a holiday that black folks was already celebrating. You see, we got to start looking at each other as young black people. If you're 41 and younger, move away from the old civil rights generations and their platform because they are not going to educate you. See, they've been selling us out for years for symbolic gestures. This bill signed into law did not do nothing for us. And Republicans, they have no problem with us with passing the law. It's because they know that we're not getting anything tangible from it. We're not getting no money, no resources. As one black man said as he held that sign out, the hell with that holiday. Where is our reparations? See, we're still back to the reparations talk. Dr. Claude Anderson taught us, you see, we basically got to stop being caught up into these gestures. Where's our reparations? The hell with signing this into law with some holiday. Where's my bread at? You owe us money. If you're saying that a great nations or whatever you said, what did this man's this? Oh, I can't stand this bastard. What did he say? He said that great nations. Where is it? Okay. He said, and I quote, great nations don't ignore their most painful moments. Okay. They embrace them. Okay. If you don't ignore your most painful moments, then how do you reconcile those painful moments? How do you basically say, okay, we acknowledge that we enslaved these people. We acknowledge that we enslaved them and they did not get not one dime, not one iota for their slave labor. How do you basically then make them whole? You can only do that by what? Tangible benefits, real monetary punitive damages, as they say in the legal terms. Where is our uh, money and our resources and our tangible benefits from the effects of slavery? See, white people like to basically wait till everybody die out and then use the excuse to say, well, all those people are dead. Just like they were going to do, they were doing in the Tulsa race riot. Well, you had three of them still alive and you tried to cut them a check. And they said, nah, no, what we're worth is way more than $170,000. We're worth way more than that. Ain't gonna be no photo op right now. You see, you owe us way more than that. What all of the the houses and the commercial property and the businesses that you fired bomb that the government helped out in, you owe us way more than $170,000. It's not gonna be no, you know, no quick payday of 170,000 so you can get some photo op and then tell the rest of us, see, we're making progress. No, no. No. Because see, the coon Democratic caucus don't speak for black folks. These black folks who's in politics, they don't speak for us on the grassroots level. Roly Poly Martin and the black Boule media, they don't speak for us. The white media, they definitely don't speak for us. Who speak for black people in the United States is the black grassroots, the new voices of black media. We have taken over the agenda. You understand? There's no way that these people are going to trick us into thinking that passing a holiday is any kind of celebration for us. We already was celebrating this. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. But we're gonna read. Let's reread this again. I read it this earlier, but because Screw2 got us on the shallow band and they messing with our connections, let's go back over this here. Juneteenth celebration. No, Juneteenth celebrate the emancipation of the last enslaved African Americans. On that day in 1865, Union soldiers led by General Gordon Granger arrived in the coastal city of Galveston, Texas, to deliver General Order Number 3, officially ending slavery in the state. Now, keep in mind, there was already black slaves who said, "Hell with this! I'm breaking for this. We're fit to do our own thing, and we were willing to fight y'all." So now you had Lincoln, who at the time, him and his soldiers, the United States, they were losing against the Confederacy. The Confederacy, as I said earlier, was whooping their tail, so they needed black men to help out. They needed black men, black soldiers. They needed black men to help them. And that's the only reason and the only way that Lincoln really won. You understand? Confederacy got their butt kicked when black men came in and started to fight. The only problem I got with black men is that we basically have been fighting for everybody else but ourselves. Goes on to say here, though, that the final act of liberation came months after the Confederate Army surrender ended the Civil War, and more than 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln was assassinated on April 15, 1865, 2 months before his proclamation made it to Texas. See, this is what Dr. Cress Welsing been talking about. This is exactly what Dr. Cress Welsing was talking about. Black people like to play dumb, and then white people like to play dumb. These folks did not free us of anything. How can you free somebody and you don't repair the damage? You got to have tangible, real benefits. A holiday ain't gonna do it. That's symbolic gestures. Who wins? You know, that's the reason why everybody was. That's the reason why all of them, these folks in Congress and the Senate, they passed the bill, because who wins? You know, the white supremacists win. They don't have to give up no money or anything. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about the crap about the Security and Exchange Commission being closed and trying to be closed. And then remember, we said that 14 Republicans voted against it. The Juneteenth legislation was sponsored in the Senate by Edward Markey, Democrat of Massachusetts. The House version, sponsored by Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat of Texas, was co-sponsored by 166 lawmakers. See, black folks can never do anything on their own. You always have to have a white person here. You got to have an Asian person here. It has to be multiculturalized, because black people can never ever do things on their own. You got to have a white and remember, look, as when they took the little photo op, you had a white lady over here, you got a white man over here. I think that was this Markey guy. But why, you have to understand, ask your question, why can black people just do something for together? You have to ask that question. That is a real big question that the younger generation has been asking their parents for years. They said that you sat up here, and why is it that every time we're on TV, we have to be multiculturalized? You know, when I used to be a substitute teacher, the kids asked us, why do we have to go to school and learn this crowd? Excuse me. They asked that question. They were wanting to know. And family, now they're talking about this critical race theory. No such thing as critical race theory. No such thing. This critical race theory is only a way the white supremacists came up with so that they can basically get us to argue over nothing. Because race is not a theory. Being enslaved is not a theory. Being discriminated against is not a theory. Those are facts. You understand? So whenever the white supremacists talk about critical race theory, number one, there is nothing that you can tell us about racism that is a theory. That's number one. Okay, and when you talk about race, you basically have to point out that wait a minute, a theory is not the appropriate word to use because racism exists. Black people have been enslaved, discriminated against. When you basically point out those facts, that critical race theory crap goes out the window. Remember, go back and look at my piece on where they had the interracial couple, the white man and the black woman sitting there, and they were talking about critical race theory. And she was talking about how she grew up in Chicago and how she basically was telling the audience about racism and discrimination. And she's up there with a white man. And I have no problem with you doing that. But the problem is that his people keeps us in a segmented labor market. You see, that is not, and interracial relationships are not going to repair Black people's problems and issues. You can date all the white people you want. That is not going to repair the damage. Okay? If you basically is interracially dating, the first thing you have to ask yourself is why I'm with this person. You might say, well, it's about love. Okay, it's about love. Hmm. Well, could it also be about racial showcasing? Okay, why is it that Black women who get with white men, they always gotta have an audience to say, "Hey guys, look at us." Okay, look at y'all. What are y'all doing? Well, we're in a relationship and we know how it was growing up and discrimination this and discrimination that. No. Mm-mm. You see, that right there is symbolic gestures. You see, we in on the grassroots, we don't look for symbolic gestures to try to basically get us to think that we are progressive. Okay, the statues of General Robert E. Lee tells us everything we need to know about what the white supremacists are up to. So when you have a interracial couple coming out and say, "Well, hey, look at us." Okay, well, look at you. Okay, what is the difference of that symbolic gesture that you all are doing versus what General Robert E. Lee on that statue is doing? No difference. What you're saying is that since we've had this long history of enslavement against us, everything has changed. White men have always been likened to sleep with black women. That's no change. And black men have always liked to sleep with white females. There's no difference there. You've not shown us anything different. But what you won't show us is the real thing, the real tangible thing that we need, and that is our repertorial payments. We told you that we didn't care about sleeping with your women. We told you on the grassroots we didn't care about this multicultural crap. And when you talk about multiculturalism, You got to first ask yourself, well, how many multicultural partnerships that black people have with white folks, with Asian people, Hispanic people, and the LGBT business relationship? When you look at that, that will let you know that you're not living in a multicultural society. You might be living next door to a Hispanic or a white person or an Asian person, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay? It only means something when a black person get an opportunity to come to the table and get benefits and resources. Right now, black people are under siege by the government. This government is illegitimate in many ways. Why? Is the white government here in the United States is illegitimate? Because it has ignored a people. Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this. Anytime that you ignore and you put a policy in effect that says you're going to deny and neglect a race of people, then that means that that government is what? Illegitimate. That's an illegitimate government. Every society creates jobs. You understand? If you build an economy, you'll create a job. That's nothing. Creating a job is going to happen regardless. And black people think that we're alive, that we go to school and get educated because of job creation or being going out and finding a job. And that's not what it's about. It's about what? Creating your own jobs. So the white supremacists, like Jim Crow Joe Biden, is going to tell us that we can get you symbolic justice. And he claims that he is the only president, as you know, that worked with the African American community. I beg to defer. I hope I said that right. Because no, he was the only president, along with his vice president, who have put black men in prison and in jail. And he has not made any amends of that. Another example of repairing the damage. This bastard get on my damn nerves. This man here is so diabolical. You see, Republicans and Democrats are always on the same page when it comes to black folks. We're not going to give these niggers anything, but we'll give them a holiday that they can celebrate. And then I can tell you, when I run for reelection, or when my vice president runs for reelection, but we can tell you that we basically did a lot for black people. Well, we've signed to make Juneteenth a national holiday. We were already, as black people, celebrating this holiday. Man, we've been celebrating Juneteenth forever, man. We didn't need this. What we really wanted was our reparations. You understand? That's what we want. Give us our reparations, because the reparations payment is what we want. But you had old Negro Jim Clyburn says, "Oh well, you think you're gonna get some reparations? You might keep on wishing. You're not gonna get no reparation. Keep on wishing. You know, you're not getting no reparations." When they start talking about reparations, you start laughing. Y'all think y'all gonna get some reparations? He sounds like the typical Republican, black conservative in that be like Larry Elder. How different of him talking like that than as it opposed to what the black Republicans talk, like Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson or Larry Elder. They talk the same way. Black folks, y'all not gonna get no reparations. Oh, we're not. Okay, that's fine. So that means that we have a government that's undermining us, right? That's exactly what it means. If we can't get tangible benefits, that means that this government is illegitimate, is ineffective. And anytime a government is ineffective and it's basically has lost its way of giving a people and discrediting that people and denying that people and denying, neglecting that people its rightful ownership of benefits and resources, that's a government that is illegitimate. And that means that black people, we don't have to participate in that kind of society. I've always taught you that black people, in order for society to work, white people have to then ask you and try to see if you're going to participate in the society. You see, after the George Floyd's uprising, it was a situation of whether or not if black people wanted to participate in a society. But white people lost their arrogance as well. You see that. Because there was no way that Derek Chauvin was going to go home and you thought that there was not going to be a riot and turn up all across the world. You see, now it bought them a little bit more time to say, okay, calm down. And the United States got calls all over from the European countries and stuff. If y'all want us to keep on getting these tangible benefits and white folks, you better go and make sure those Negroes over there in America, y'all better calm them down over there. And so the white sacrifice, this race soldier, Derek Chauvin, had to go to the pen. Now, next week or so, I think it's this week or next week, they're going to be giving this man his sentencing. Now, watch this judge here. Because, see, these judges, they are white supremacy's last hope, in a sense. I talked to about these race soldier judges from the 11th Circuit Court in my forthcoming book that I'm bringing out on the court system. And these judges, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe. These judges basically are going to try to find a way. Well, this judge in Derek Chauvin's case, he's going to try to find a way to try to give him a lesser charge. He's going to come back with some 20 years, something, 25 years and stuff. He's going to come back with 25-year max, because what is happening now is you got a lot of police officers who don't want to be police anymore. And then you got us. You have the black grassroots. We got the justice people. You got people who are talking and speaking truth to power. So we're kind of at neck to neck. And they're trying to find a way as to how they can get these thugs with badges to go back on the force. They were talking about that 50 riot members from Portland, Oregon had resigned when that race soldier who killed a black man down there was indicted. See, this is why they all on code with each other. They want to be only on the force to just basically abuse black folks. You see, they feel like if I can't abuse black people, then I don't want to be a police officer no more. And that's how they are. If I can't basically shoot and kill some nigger, I don't want to be a so-called police officer no more. And you got to look at that as being, wait a minute. Here's a government that's supposed to have justice for all and be impartial, and have us talking about freedom and liberty and equality, which we don't have. They basically have a police officers who is resigning, who's quitting, who is leaving specifically to support race soldiers who have shot and killed unarmed black people. If I can't kill these niggers, then I don't want to be a cop no more. That's what they're saying here. So now they got Jim Crow Joe Biden. That's the best who they can prop up now. See, they were going to get that governor from Texas. I think it was no, not it was from Texas. Now, what is descent as Florida? Florida, I think he's the governor of Florida. Cuomo, I think his name, Governor Cuomo from New York. I think it was whatever. But he was in the running to be the next president. And of course, he was going to go up against Trump. Is Trump's vice president, of course. He was going to go up against him. But they were going to put Cuomo out there until all these women start coming out talking about what he was doing, his brother was doing, or whoever. And now, because his one of them he has a scandal. You got his brother on CNN trying to, he's trying to basically come out and support his brother, which I have no problem with. Because of course, if I was caught up in scandal, I would want my brother to come out and support me too. But no, but they wanted Cuomo to run for president, right? And one of them, I think, in New York, he was married to a black woman. I think that's him. One of them are married to a black woman, of course. And but yeah, they wanted them to run next. But they're already dressing for Kamala Harris to also be the so-called first female president. Now, keep in mind, this woman, man, all you have to do is everybody know about Kamala Harris. Everybody know about her and low down Willie Brown. Everybody know that she slept her way to the top, right? And she's out there talking about black girl magic. This is how you do it. Black girl magic. Really? This is the way that you're going to show black women that this is how you make it by having white daddy on your arm? Is that the way you make it in America? Apparently, that's what Kamala Harris is trying to tell black women, trying to tell Asian women, hey, look at me. I have white daddy on my arm. Now, she didn't have white daddy out there when she was on the campaign trail because she was talking about black girl magic. You understand? But just look at how diabolical this heifer is. Family, they got her. The Nina Simone family is coming out and says that while Kamala Harris was the attorney general, that she did a gag order on Nina Simone's mother and took her estate away from her, and that in the gag order she couldn't talk about that. Now the granddaughter is coming out saying this. You see how they like to put these bad wenches in office? They like to put them in office because they don't have no problem doing what white mommy and white daddy say. See, all of this stuff and making these illegal immigrants citizens, this is just to undermine us. They really want to undermine black people. They don't want us to have nothing in this country. They don't want us to basically get our reparations. They don't want us equal to them. They're going to play this game of symbolic gestures, and they're going to force it down our throats because black people ain't turned up enough. Isn't that what Maxine Waters says? Y'all, black folks, y'all not turned up enough. And I will agree with that. We are not turned up enough. You see, we sit around and debate white folks. And at the end of the day, after all of that crap that we talk with them, they still go home to their mansions and their white wealth. As Dr. Boyce Watkins say, they got, white people got all this luxury. Dr. Claude Anderson taught us that white people got two streams of income. We have to look at that and say that these people are on top, we're on the bottom. That has nothing to do with class. White people have within their society a class, But they can't say that other races have classes. No. You see, we allow them to put these phrases, these terms, these lies to get us caught up into so-called critical race theory, creating words and phrases that don't mean a damn thing. We got to stop that. I was looking at Tariq Nasheed while he was on Fox News and he was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson, right? And Tucker Carlson said, excuse me, to him, Tucker Carlson said that his radio program was racist. You see, and I'm looking at, Fox News, and Tariq basically said something that was very cool. Or well, he said that Fox News, which is one of the most racist networks in this country, he basically came back great with what he said to Tucker Carlson. You have this white supremacist talking to a YouTube personality as if he's the one that projected racism on society. When he is sitting on a huge platform in front of a microphone, and all you get every time from that particular network is nothing but racist, and overtone constantly. But he's going to try to say that a YouTuber is projecting on his podcast racism. See, what we have to do is we got to stop allowing white people to, like I said earlier, to dictate what the word racism is. You see, they brought up, as Dr. John Henry Clark taught us, they brought up the word race for a reason. The word race is used so it could basically then undermine other people against white people, but it was also to say, look, we are better than you niggers. You see, that's what white supremacy is all about. Supremacy. You understand? A lot of y'all in the chat is asking, oh, we're not taking no phone calls no more. I mean, not no more, but we're not taking no phone calls today. I'm sorry, not no more. We are taking phone calls, but not tonight. Y'all gonna sit here and listen to my damn essay for a minute. You understand? So Juneteenth celebration, Juneteenth holiday. Black folks was always celebrating Juneteenth. We didn't need no damn holiday to celebrate that, Miss Ola May. What we needed for Miss Ola May to do is go up there and slap Jim Crow Joe Biden and say, where is our reparations? You understand? But here's the thing. I think what we have to do is that we have to just look at this system that has been undermining us for years. Look at it as being, what it is. Bottom line, black people, you're going to maintain being workers in this society. It's going to be a few of us. Yes, we'll get millions of dollars here. We'll get rappers, and we'll keep on throwing some crumbs at you here and there. But for the most part, we're going to be on top of you niggers, and that's it. You understand? And that's a society that a lot of black people want, especially your world star hip hop crowd. As long as white mommy and white daddy's doing all the work, oh, they have time to go out and play. Black men talking about sports all the time. What is it with black men always out here talking about sports? You understand? Black men gotta understand. Y'all keep on talking about sports and you don't own a damn thing. talking about sports, and then you got black women out here talking about sports too, as if that's supposed to project that you're a man. Every time you turn around, you hear black men in barbershops, black men in clubs, black men here, black men there, talking about football and basketball teams. And yet, you got black men that you're watching who is hurting their bodies over football and does not own the team. That's a problem. Making white men rich off of what you're doing to your bodies, getting concussions when there's not enough black people who are owning these NBA and football teams. But yet, y'all want to go out there and do a word of mouth campaign for these white supremacists who will sit down there and undermine you. And you thinking that, oh, you got something to share just because you're sharing a hot dog in a stand and you're eating next to some white person. This is what we keep talking about. Black men have to get off of this crap about not wanting to be the owners of these teams. You see, we're caught up into the celebrity stuff. And then when we go broke, then we want to cry foul. Gee, white supremacy, blah, 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 blah. No, you should have been thinking about ownership a long time ago. We have a lot of black men out here not speaking about ownership in the NBA, not speaking about ownership in the NFL, not speaking about ownership in these record labels, not speaking about ownership in all of these other sectors of businesses. They are out here promoting who's playing what. And that's a problem. Gee, the New York Giants, y'all see that game? Gee, New York Giants out there, man. Y'all see. Hey man, don't cut my throat, man. Yeah, that was a good game. They played the Falcons and shit, man. And gee, man, y'all was a good game. Crazy stuff. Black men, let me talk to you for a minute. Y'all have to get over this crap about helping the white supremacists and talking about and promoting their stuff. What is the benefit of what we're getting from going to these games? What is the benefit of what we're getting for talking about who's playing who defeated who in these barbershop where we go get our haircuts? Who benefited from that? The white paymasters that you basically are talking about is benefiting from that. Manhood is not talking only about sports, but manhood is also talking about your resources, tangible resources. When the last time you showed up at your daughter's and your son's uh, board of education meeting when these white supremacists are trying to then make laws that is going to, railroad where they go, their school district and where they're going to go to school at next year or the semesters after that? Why you don't talk about that particular situation? Why you don't talk about the reparations that is owed for us for 465 years? Why are y'all not in the barbershop talking about that? You see, black men, we got to stop this crap. You see, this is why black women don't really respect us, because we are all in these barbershop. Hey, man, make sure my air jump is okay, man. Yeah. And yeah, the Falcons, man. Yeah. Falcons, they played a good game last week. The Falcons look like shit. I didn't know what's going on with the Falcons. They got beat by Green Bay. Yeah. We got to stop that. We got to stop that, man. You are not a man just because you talk about sports. These people have us doing free promotion so that these folks can be rich and rich and rich while your ass is sitting at a barber shop promoting them so that the next black person go out there and buy a ticket or watch them on, some club TV. We got to stop all that. It's okay to have fun sometimes, but we are in a state of emergency that by the year 2053, man, we're going to be broke as a people. As I told you in other commentaries, they're not going to be giving and paying rappers and black sports figures a lot of money on basketball and football because white people are now trying to create other sports that they can undermine us on. You understand? And as these new sports come around, golf is already getting a lot of their attention, right? You have tennis is getting certain types of white people's attention. You have, other sports there. Bowling is becoming is becoming a way of entertainment. Them playing poker or checkers. There's a television station that really all it does on its network is talk about who's playing poker and who's betting on the game. Horse riding. White people, rich white people going out watching horses race. They're moving away from football and basketball and having to pay the black sports figure millions of dollars now. And by year 2053, you will basically then, when they bring all these illegals over here and make them citizens, they're going to be into other sports and games, whereas the black athlete who used to make somewhere about $100 million, supposedly, for instance, will only be making somewhere around about 10 to about 15 or 25 million. So that's the reason why we're losing our wealth. You got Oprah out here. She don't have a will to basically who is going to get the money, the 2 billion that she has right now. Keep asking that question. Is it going to go to Stedman, who play around with a little bit? Speaking of Oprah, they had Oprah talking about Happy Father's Day, where she brought all these black men into. We've been calling out Oprah so long, man. She had to bring some black men up on stage and stuff. She got some black books that she said that's in her book club. I said Oprah is trying to act like she black right now. we got upset because she went out to Bill Cosby, man, and now Oprah is trying to black it up. Oh man, what about these bad witches? When every time they're called out, and then White Daddy is getting finished is criticizing them too. They try to rub back to the black race and say, "Hey y'all, here I am. How do I look?" You had Oprah trying to do that. What's that woman who gave me a shout out? The two ladies that gave me a shout out, they did the same thing. Omarosa. Omarosa, they had the White House when Trump was in office. They shut her out, changed the locks on her, and she tried to pretend like, oh, I was in there getting all the juice. Hey, y'all, I'm married to a black man. Come on over here and talk to me. And then old girl, what's her name? Dang, the other girl who gave me Stacey Dash. Yeah, Stacey Dash. Man, Stacey Dash, her white zaddy, man, kicked her out, called the police on her. Man, Stacey Dash was looking for people to rescue her. She was like, "Yeah, I'm willing to date some black men now." What is it about the Bedouins to think that we as black men want the leftovers, though? After White Daddy ran y'all through and got his sex y'all out, now you want to come to talk to the high value black men. You want to come to us now. What's all that about? When White Daddy had you over there, he was gutter sexing you out. He was all in your mouth and doing all the crazy sexual nasty stuff. And then now you want to bring that back over here to black men. Yeah. After he done gutter sex you out. We don't want that. No, no, stay over there. Okay, because real how you black men, as Kevin Samuels talked about us, we're now accumulating resources. You see, when black men start accumulating resources around their late 30s and 40s, we become now very, very much, you know, it's a different level now. At the time that we were like young, we had to probably deal with all of the sass coming from some chick. Yeah, they can take me home and all that stuff. But now, as we become more value and our business relationship, we accumulate more wealth, accumulate more income. As Samuel, uh, as Kevin Samuels like to tell you all, as women, it becomes high value, meaning that we don't have to now settle for just anybody. See what I'm saying? When you become high value, you don't have to settle for just any woman, and that is very dangerous. And then so now you start, and so when you gave White Daddy a chances, we always said that the high valued men that women passes up first, they always a winner. You know the reason why they're always the winner is because they accumulate a lot of resources and later on in life that makes them now high valued now. So he's able, in a sense, to say, okay, well, I can get a woman who's stunning, she's attractive, she's beautiful, she don't have any children. Now you have that pool that you didn't have when you were broke and you was driving some kind of Cutlass in a 1992 Cutlass in the day, Oh man, I remember the Cutlass, man. You know, and you see, you don't have to worry about that now because you become now and later on in years, you become in your prime. So now you got so many resources. And so while y'all was over there giving all y'all youth to White Daddy and these dusty Negroes, the high value black men, we don't sit back and do nothing. We just sit back and look, you know. The high value black men, we just got our pen, right? Here's our pen. We got our pen and we sit back and we look at notes. Here we go. We sit back, we like, damn, she got 3 kids. And damn, she's old, got that EBT card. Then some old dusty Negro got her pregnant. And we're like, damn. Well, that application is going into file 13. What Rick Ross say? Real bosses, no, that wasn't Rick Ross. It was another rapper. I forget his name. But we don't sit back. Yeah, it was Rick Ross. We just sit back. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Let me stop. But no, high valued men, women do not have to settle for just any women. Let that lie. See, a woman can be attractive, right? And she think that, oh, I'm attractive. Yeah, this nigga gonna want to date me. Blah blah blah. Yeah, yes and no. Because if that's the only thing you're bringing to the table is your attraction, that's not gonna last long. Because when you get into the relationship, he's gonna see that you don't have anything tangible for him. Okay, he's gonna see that that you ain't bringing up to the table, and then the relationship is going to die out real quick. You see, that's the reason why you got a lot of black people that is in divorce court right now because a lot of the relationship it dies out real quick. It dies out real quick. the interest die out real quick. And I did a video on Facebook a long time ago talking about this, and I may need to do one for YouTube about these black relationships here. You know, that's something I really need to do. But anyway, man, let me get out of here, man. But yeah, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, share, subscribe. I came on Monday today because, man, we did a casting call for the film that we did called Davion and Michaela. And man, I was so tired. I was so beat when I got to the house. So I was like, man, let me go live uh, today because we did our casting call, man. And I wanted to basically thank all of y'all who came out to the audition. We had some good talent there. We have our next audition in July, but we did a lot of damage for this film that we're doing. It's a love movie. What we're going to do, though, is, man, we're going to basically, we have to do something for the black youth. We need to make a film for the black youth to talk about certain types of things that they need to do. We need to actually show them in the movies, in the movie, and what they need to be working on right now. Okay, so that they don't make the same mistakes that we made based upon the fact listening to the older civil rights generation. We need to do something like that. So I'm working on a project with something like that where we could basically um, we can basically have them seeing somebody like, what I'm saying, doing stocks. Like, shout out to Black Girl Stocks. She's really, man, that's a smart young lady. She really got a lot of feedback on her channel. I give her shout outs all the time. But young ladies like that, young black girls like that. Another black young man, he is in the stock business. He know how to do a lot of stuff like that. Man, they're learning real young, but they need a film. I think the youth need a film because they're not going to watch this stuff in school. White kids watch this at home. Black kids don't watch this type of stuff at home. Where around the age of about 9 or 10 or even younger than that, they're learning how to do stocks and trade and stuff like that. So we need to write a film so that black kids can learn all the do's and don'ts that their parents made mistakes of, so that that film can be available for the young kids. For instance, they'll know, their rights when they get stopped by the police. Have a instructional video, like I said, selling stocks. Um, what not to say when you stop by the police, or what not to do when you stop by the police. Um, learning different types of stuff, languages and stuff. All of this needs to be on video as an instructional tool. Learning Black history, learning about our ancestors, late great Dr. Clark, John Henry Clark. Learn about Amos Wilson. Learn about all of your Francis Cress Wilson. This needs to be in a instructional video, and they should be like 15 to 20 minutes, so they don't run that quick. So you can just get one video in, pop the other video in, and vice versa, so that the parents can let them see. Okay, now this is what you don't do. This is what you don't do. So this is the reason why they don't want us to talk about race in school, because when our kids go into schools, they're not talking about themselves, as you know. So when a child and their parents, some old hood chick who have children by them, she has kids by these dusty Negroes, and they're not learning anything at home. And then when they get to these daycares, they're not learning nothing there either, but they're learning about SpongeBob and all this crap. But we need instructional videos for the young to talk about things at a very early age when it comes to, how to write, how to draw, what not to do when you encounter the police, talking about different languages, uh, learning about our historians. Like I said, all of these need to be in an instructional platform video where when these kids get finished with their homework at home, the parents can pop these videos in for them. You understand? We have books, but hell, black people don't want to go to the library and read no books. So we have to basically put it on an instructional video. Okay. And in that instructional video, like I said, each subject matter will be 20 minutes. So I was thinking about doing something like that as well. You know, and now we got a full-fledged distribution company, man, where we're going to be pulling out films and stuff. But for the kids, I want to really do something for them, man, because we need to have them learning this stuff young. You see, you cannot be sitting there thinking that just because you go to school with white kids that they're not learning other things at home. That's the biggest mistake black people been making. Oh, I just send my kids to school, and then while they're at home, they're not doing their homework, and they don't understand anything. But in addition to that, we need to get them to understand how important doing their homework is, but also get them to look at these instructional videos. Okay, sure. All right, so but anyway, we're going to close out. Hit that thumbs up button. We're going to have the website lawyerhenderson.com is coming, where you'll be able to get all of our content and listen to it as well on Anchor. We're going to have it. And so we'll keep you up to date when the website comes. But visit cinemacitypictures.com. I am your gracious host, Lawyer Henderson. See ya. Thanks for listening.